Hello, just finishing off my dinner. Some nice dinner today. Cumberland sausages with sweet potato and peppers and onions and broccoli. Nice and healthy. I did my podcast today as well, and yeah, a lot of good response today on my podcast. It was most gratifying. It was good. I'm going to put the link below. The link below for my podcast, if you want to check out the podcast at all. Heavy metal, best music in the world. Right, so I've looked at my earnings on YouTube. I am currently earning $3.88. Ooh, and it's only 196 days. Wow, that's really pathetic. That's more than a cent a day though. Not quite as much as no, it's about 2 cents a day, isn't it? 196 and I'm on 388. No, I can't do maths. I mean, that's not too far off though. Anyway, I can't bother to work it out. My brain, as soon as numbers come in my head nowadays, my brain just goes, I can't bother. Anyway, check out my podcast from today, and just going to do my blog. Day 196. It's the 13th of August, Sunday. I'm going back to work soon after being off for a very long time, at least 2 months, nearly 3 months actually, 2.5 months. My job's going in November. Still looking. Well, I hadn't even thought about looking at work yet. I do want to I got to start looking for work and doing CV and all that kind of thing. Really nice if I could earn money from my podcast, but it's unlikely it's going to happen. If you've got lots of money, then feel free to send me some. I'll be your friend. Right, so this day in history. 13th of August in 1521, the fall of Tenochtitlan. I can't actually pronounce this, and it doesn't help with the fact that the website, the BBC website is on, any kind of pronunciations, any kind of like punctuation, not punctuation marks, but accents above letters, it screws up the whole thing, so you can't actually read what it says. It adds a whole load of other figures to it. Anyway, it's the fall of Tenochtitlan, I think it is, to Spanish conquistador Hernando Cortez, I believe. I want to hear it comes up as Cortafacasiasra. Yeah, basically loads of extra characters are put into it because of the pronunciation character. I think it's Hernando Cortez. So the fall of Tenochtitlan to Spanish conquistador Hernando Cortez subdues Mexico, ending Aztec civilization. That was this day in history in 1521. And in 1961, the East German government closes the border with West Berlin and begins building a dividing wall. So yes, the old Berlin Wall, the old Iron Curtain. And in 1966, China announces the start of the Cultural Revolution, which will result in the deaths of thousands. Yes, hopefully there won't be lots of deaths coming up with all these tensions between the USA and North Korea. We don't want no shit going down with that, thank you very much. And I like playing Fallout. I played Fallout today a few hours after putting my show up and sharing it all around, but I don't want to live in a Fallout mod, thank you very much. I'd really rather not. Instead, let's have a poem. Let's not worry about the things of life which are sad and worrying. Let's have a poem instead. A random poem from Poetry Out Loud. It's actually a poem that I've heard of. You've probably heard of it as well. By William Wordsworth. That's probably a poet you've heard of as well. William Wordsworth lived from 1770 to 1850. And this poem is well known. In fact, it's the only one I actually can think of by him. I don't really know poetry very well. I don't know why I bothered doing poetry. Just it's something to do. This is I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. You must have heard of that one. Come on, you can't be that blinking isolated. You can't be that much of a Neanderthal. You've not heard of this one. I'm just going to recite it to you now. I'm probably going to mess it up. I always do. I'll go slow and see if I can get it nicely done. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon their inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude, and then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils. Okay, interesting. So he saw some nice looking daffodils, and sometimes when he's sitting at home, feeling like, can't be bothered, feeling all meh, like I sometimes do when I don't have a podcast to get on with, or a blog to do, or Fallout to play, he just sits there and goes, oh yes, I remember the daffodils. They were nice, weren't they? Perhaps I should do a poem. It's called A Great Big Juicy Pair of Boobs. Because, I like to think of big juicy boobs sometimes when I'm feeling pensive. When I'm lying. For oft when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is a bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the great big boobs in my face. Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, that's a good. It might be a little bit derogatory of his poem. It might be, a bit naughty and sort of kind of stealing every word apart from the boobs part. But whatever, Is there any money in poetry? I do remember I was going to do a poem myself every day. I was going to invent a poem every day. I can't bothered. I know poems that haven't got a rhyme. Let's just do it. Let's just do a poem. Sunday, another day. Monday, oh, another day again. But the worst day, the bleakest, darkest, most evilest day, the day when you have to leave your lovely weekend away and go back to that place that makes you have a horrible face of sadness and despair. It gets in your hair.
What are you talking about?
Hello there.
Oh, you didn't think
I do my poem, babe. I do my poem. I'm going to take my plate out. I need to finish my podcast. I'm in my blog. Ah, she's lovely. The name boobs I was talking about earlier on in my face, those are the ones I think of. Anyway, I wandered lonely as a clod, doing my lovely podcast, vlog. I don't know. Along there. When in doubt, when you're unable to make sentences, formulate words in your mind and create cohesive sentences, just go instead. It's not empowering, but it's kind of like, it's kind of freeing, actually, freeing of the spirit. I can't be bothered to think of whole sentences. I'm just going to make funny noises instead. Try it sometime. Like if you're going to the bank manager, or if you're at work and your boss calls you in for an important meeting, rather than formulating sentences that can make coherent sense, just go and feel how uplifting and freeing of the spirit it is. Yeah, do that tomorrow when you're at work, yeah? Go straight into the boss and say, boss, I've got something important to tell you. Yeah, that would be a good idea. And if you're having a tough time at work, just think of boobs. Unless you're a woman who don't like boobs. Or maybe you're a man who don't like boobs. This is possibilities. Yeah, if you don't think of boobs, it's something you think of instead if you don't think of boobs. But I like thinking of boobs. Hi, babe. Yeah, that's another thing that I like doing. I like boobs, invisible boobs, pretend boobs in my face. They're good. They're exciting. Ooh. No, it's alright. That wasn't that exciting. Just checking. Right, I'm buggering off now. Oh dear. I keep getting stuff from YouTube saying this video is not appropriate for advertising. Possibly because I'm swearing too much, talking about invisible boobs. One of those. But boobs isn't a swear word, though, is it? Boobs? Boobs is a type of bird, isn't it? Yeah, it's a type of bird. Great big pair of tits. That's two birds. Great tits. Yeah, a pair of great tits. Yeah, see? I'm only talking about ornithology. If I tag ornithology in the description, maybe I'll get away with talking about birds and boobies. And shags? Is that a type of bird as well as shag? I don't bloody know.
You brought yourself out for your blippering.
Yeah, babe. I'm talking bare nonsense. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's alright, babe. I'm not showing the blogger files. Right, I'm buggering off now. Cheers for listening to my nonsense.